What's good, family? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real DJs. Today, we got a very special guest. Uh, this guy's a personality on. I don't even want to say. I'm gonna let him say everything he does because he's just got such a amazing track record. But big shout out my guy right here, DJ LuiJay. How you doing, bro?
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in here with my brother from another mother, ain't no other, providing this and giving some real talk. Because I told him I don't want no filters. I don't want to do anything that's pretty much, you have to go, under the bush or, say, I just told him straight up, just tell me straight up what it is, the questions, honesty. And at the end of the day, because I just want to give the viewers that are looking and that are tapping in all these new DJs what we're actually about to do. So I go by the name of DJ LuiJay. I represent here Southern California. I pretty much done everything as a DJ that's actually out there. I mean everything, you name it, even funerals. I've actually DJ'd those that I feel like is very, more intimate and quiet. But no, they wanted a DJ to turn up when somebody died. So, and I feel like that's like the only thing. Other than that, like any other DJ out there, as concerts, festivals, quinceañeras, weddings, private events, TV, radio, you name it, I've done it. Even on the porn side, I've done stuff like that too. So, again, I've done everything. Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about it. Yeah, we're gonna see all the questions that my man has for me.
We're gonna put your OnlyFans link up in the
Ten cuidado, porque yo soy negro de abajo.
Bro, so I was checking out your Instagram, and you're right, man. You've done it all, bro. So, I was looking at your stuff, and I was just really, really inspired. But I want people to get as inspired as I was, so I just want to start from the beginning. I want to know, the first time you considered of becoming a DJ, the first part of your life that you're like, I'm gonna get into music. What was the reasoning? What was that first step in this journey?
Okay, now I need a drink for this. Salud, brother. Salud. All right, man. So my journey, how it all started. Gotta thank my cousins.
Siempre los primos.
The cousins, bro, and they're females too.
Ooh.
So these two cousins, her name is Susie and Brandy. Sexy cousins. I was 7 years old, and obviously as kids, we have our parents that work 24/7 pretty much, and obviously they need a babysitter, so that's why my cousins were taking care of me. And just let me let you know about my cousins. They were still young too. I think they were like in their 16, 17 years old. And obviously around that age, I want to say like in the 90s. Back then, like everyone else, once you don't have parents in the house, guess what you're going to do? Party. You're about to throw some parties. So my cousins, there was one of them, she was dating a DJ. And obviously on that house party, I was like the only child there. Everyone else, they were all, big kids and stuff like that. And they literally got a jumper for me.
Okay.
And then from there was, I want to say few kids that did show up as well. But I was not, I want to say I wasn't like interested in the jumper. I was literally interested on the DJ, what he was doing with these two turntables in the mixer. And bro, I will be the only kid on the side just staring at him, doing what he was doing with his hands. I wanted to know why he had headphones on his head. At a 7-year-old, I get a lot of DJs, they always say, I started when I was 14, 15, 16. I started literally when I was 8 years old. 7, because I got so like infused of what was going on and everything. And then when I was 8, I told my mom that I wanted to get a DJ, like just a DJ stuff that I don't know how they were calling it back then.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have controllers, you know what I mean? So
right.
It was just like a package of whatever it was. So back then, if you guys know, and it's still going on, La Curaçao.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
La Curaçao. So La Curaçao had this a beautiful package of, you had the two turntables and a mixer with two little mini speakers, and it was called Newark.
Let's go. Yeah.
So they were the ones that were actually selling those. To this day, I still remember it was like almost like $500, and my mom got it for me. And then from there, bro, I started, practicing, doing whatever the case is, and from there, once that happened, CDJs was coming out.
Yep.
Again, purchased my package of CDJs a la Curacao. They were Gemini.
Okay.
So obviously you could tell that these brands were like really cheap. They're not. I don't want them to feel like very, bad, but they're good. They're just brands for you, I feel like, to practice.
Beginner,
yeah. Beginning stuff. Just because, again, you have the bigger brands that were like Techniques, Rain, Vestex, Pioneer, all these brands, but in order for you to, like, people always told me, before you start jumping into very expensive equipment, you always want to get to something small just in case if you like it or don't like it, you feel like you didn't spend too much money on it.
Yep.
So fast forward all that stuff, man. I want to say when I was 15, 16 years old, that's when I went pro.
Okay.
And when I say pro, I don't mean pro like as in like in music industry, like radio, stuff like that. I mean pro as in like they started booking me now doing weddings, quinceañeras, private birthday parties, stuff like that I was actually getting recognition. Huge house parties when I was in high school.
I bet, man. Yeah.
Because I was pretty much in, back then you had like these flyer parties. You were part of these party crews, stuff like that.
Right.
So obviously the whole thing, how I blew up on that industry was we used to throw the biggest house parties out in South Central, right there off of Vernon and San Pedro. Shout out to my brother Mario's house. And we used to fill that place out, bro. I want to say like 500 to 800 people in a freaking backyard.
Jeez.
And in South Central, bro. To the point that the word got out so much that Mario's father was starting to charge people in the door. Because they're like, yo, I can make some money.
I can make this a hustle, yeah.
So, and it did. It actually became a hustle house. We used to do it on a Friday or Saturday. We used to like even buy the whole liquor, all that stuff. So they'll sell like liquor. Obviously, they were not even like, looking for IDs because you're in the hood, bro. They were like, if they want to buy it, have it, like, why not?
Yeah.
So it got to a point that, it got the word all the way to Hollywood promoters.
Okay.
And obviously how that works is when you're in Hollywood, obviously you're trying to look for people that can bring people to their clubs.
100%.
So they did that. They brought me on board, and that's when I started getting to know bigger DJs.
Okay.
Like the club DJs, radio DJs, and that's how I got introduced into this industry because of that. I only had focus on making sure that I can DJ and entertain the crowd. That was always my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't care in how big of a scale. My thing was that if they're hiring me, it's because I'm here to satisfy and deliver what they hired, and that's to entertain and host the guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's pretty much that. I feel like how my career has gone, and obviously I can keep talking, but.
Let me ask you this, because you started at a time where YouTube wasn't really around. Technology was different.
Yes.
And you had to literally match by ear. Just you really had to know music.
Yeah.
How was your learning? What was your experience in learning and gathering this knowledge? Like, how did you accomplish all that to be able to become, the professional that you are today when it was different back then?
So obviously the radio did work a little bit. Listening to like Power 106. One of the DJs that I used to love was like DJ E-Man.
Oh man, E-Man, big shout out E-Man.
Like DJ Cookie. Obviously other famous DJs. What is it? His name, the English. Because obviously I confused it with my Spanish. Funk Master Flex.
Oh yeah.
So like those type of DJs that you can hear, and just learning pretty much like the history of the whole DJ, like the whole hip hop.
Yeah.
Like who created what and who did the first scratch and all those things. For me, I was not too big of a scratcher.
Yeah.
My thing was more of entertaining.
Okay.
Obviously making sure knowing how to blend songs, how to beat match certain songs, how to throw a song in when you're actually talking or being on the mic.
Yeah.
Certain things that you will say that can go back to the song, what you were just saying. So just being very creative on certain things that will make you as a DJ outshine anyone else that just wanted to do the same thing. So that's the creativity that comes in. Yep. Knowing how to throw this song in, when to stop, when to talk, when to do all these things to make sure that you are in control and not somebody else or people telling you, hey, do this and do that. And then you're all over the place and then you screw up the whole thing. So that's very important as a DJ that I'm going to tell everybody that, yes, the fundamentals are to make sure that you know how to blend together, not have a beat going here and then another beat going there, and knowing that you're just having listeners be like, yo, what the hell's going on? It feels like two trains crashing together. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that everything's on point. But now that you have done that, now it goes to base like, okay, what can you do that the other DJ can do?
Right.
And then that's when the whole money and talent and who you are and what it is comes into play. But those are, I feel like, the main certain goals that you will need to learn. Because I still, to this day, bro, that I go see to a club, I'm like, who the hell are hiring these DJs? Because, again, I do see the potential, but I feel like nobody has told them, hey, you need to practice more.
Yeah, man.
Like, you're either your transitions are not right, or you're not mixing in right, or you're not even knowing the fundamentals of, mixing into a melody before you're mixing into so there's a lot of details. Like if you want to mix into when somebody's rapping to just mix the beat, okay, you know how to know the depending on the bars, right? If it's 16 bars, 32 bars, know that part when they're done for you to actually come out fading off before you just cutting somebody else's verse.
Right. And
little things like that. You know what I mean? Like
for new DJs, I think it's so easy to like, oh, I got a club gig. I'm so happy. I'm going to go do that club gig.
Yeah.
But I think before you do that, you need to take the time to just even go look at these professional DJs. Like, I just recently, it was this year, a couple months ago, I went to go watch Irony.
Nice.
And, man.
Shout out to Irony.
Big shout out. That guy is skilled, man.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
He is like mixing and talking on the mic at the same time, and it's like, man, you could see the difference between someone who like has, like you said, taking the time to really perfect their profession.
Yeah.
So I 100% understand what you're saying. I want to ask you about something. You said you had your family's full support on this. Your mom went and bought you your system. Mm-hmm. How was that like? Like, what was there a point where your family said like, nah, you ain't doing this no more? It's not making you money, or it's, was there ever a point of like doubt in your family's mind that you were going to make it on this? Or was it always just full support?
So touching on that. So my whole thing as a persona, I've always been a hustler. I have my degrees. I've gone to school. I have my degrees in business management. And then in marketing and advertisement, and I have my other degree in sound engineering. So me studying, I always like to study, but study something that I wanted to. My parents weren't, especially my mom, wasn't too much like, oh, you got to choose this career or you got to choose that because of this, that. My mom was very supportive of what I wanted. The only thing was my mom always pushing as making sure that I was good and knowing that if this is what you want, if you have a passion, I'm all for it to support you, and then I had other families beside my mom that my uncle, he's the one that actually got me the whole entire set to do like quinceañeras and weddings.
Oh, for sure.
Like the whole lighting, the whole truss back then, the whole, that they had all these lights. And then obviously like the bass bottoms, the speakers, like I was all full like production.
Yeah.
That people spent like almost $20K for me. So
that's awesome.
I had people that was very supportive, and because they saw it.
Yeah.
Right. When you see something and you're like, oh man, this guy's talented. Like definitely, I know for a fact that I'm not gonna waste my money.
Yeah.
To this day, a lot of people, that I haven't seen in for years, since they met me, you know, when I was really young. And when I do see them here and there, they're like, oh my God, I see you, I hear you, you know, everything. Like, it's so amazing seeing how your journey was, you know, to be where you're at on top right now, right? And and that's the grind. I feel like that's what it is. No, just somebody's like inside of a passion of what you really want to do. So that's what I tell people. I'm like, as a DJ, depending on what you want to do, because a lot of people be like, yo, I have a DJ kit, but I have it just for myself.
Yeah.
Right? I just have it for a hobby. But people for like myself, like Irony or anybody else that's out there, you know, we're hustling because not only that we're just, you know, we're all DJs here or there, but, you know, at the same time, there's competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? 100%. Because obviously everybody's trying to tap into who wants to get us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's you know, it's tough, but at the end of the day, everybody has their own clientele. People, if they really like you and want to put you in rotation, they will do it. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I never compete with nobody. I only compete to myself. And obviously, I'm very huge when you come down to this business, knowing customer service and how to treat people with respect and dignity. So that's my thing.
Shout out to our friends at Orbit Event Rentals. Look, if you're planning an event, whether it's a packed festival, an elite wedding, or an intimate backyard gig, you know the vibe is everything. Head to orbiteventrentals.com right now to see how they can level up your setup. They have you covered with top-tier stages, premium lighting, seating, and everything in between. They bring the infrastructure so you could bring the music. Don't gamble on your next event. Lock it in at orbiteventrentals.com. Orbit your vision into reality. Lock in a free estimate and get your date secured over at orbiteventrentals.com today.
Including your peers, right? I feel like that gets lost in translation sometimes because people think of that with their clients, but then they compete and maybe undercut other DJs or you know, try to like, you know, swindle gigs out of other DJs, and that becomes an issue. And no, you got to take care of your people because they're going to eventually, you're going to have an opportunity where they could take care of you. And you know,
right. So and you always want building relationships, right?
Yeah.
That's how I've gone to where I'm at right now on my level. I've never had an agency represent me. I did have managers and PRs and stuff like that I've hired and fired because obviously my motives are that I can do stuff what they do, but I need somebody to represent me because a talent can't do everything either. You need to have a team in order for you to succeed. So, but sometimes it's really hard to find. And, you know, I always tell people building relationships with someone are the most crucial thing, just because one, if you do see somebody, just like how they see you, how talented you are, and if you see somebody, how big they are, that they can take you to another level, this is the time that you actually know how to see things in a way that, hey, don't pay me right now. Take care of me later, but I just want you to hear me out and see what you think about me, because that takes more than always just getting money. So you got to kind of know how to sell yourself to the point like, okay, if you have a family member, hey man, if you come over here, I'll refer you. I'm like, yeah, see that right there, knowing that you're already in a big level, you don't need that. But if an opportunity comes to be like, yo, he's the one that has all the plugs in Las Vegas, but you know, obviously they don't have a budget or whatever, or you just want to just tap in and be like, yo man, give me a shot. Give me 20 to 30 minutes for free or an hour. I don't care. If you're not doing anything that day, bro, go hustle yourself and sell yourself to that person to be like, yo, this DJ's amazing. Let me hire this guy. And guess what? Now the chicks comes in. So you got to know how they say chicken balances. Like, I feel like that's how you got to know when to come in and see like, yo, I will do it for free just because I know in the long run, I'm going to gain more than just be like, nah, bro, I want $3,000 right now. And know that was your opportunity to shine and probably get to other levels. Because in this DJ world, bro, there's layers, there's levels to a lot of success, bro. So
100%. You know, it's really, I say this to my team all the time. Now it's coming from This guy, listen. Everybody who's listening, listen, because this is true. You know, this is true.
And you know, again, a lot of people like myself that have been in the industry, you know, they even got into the point that, oh, if you want my expertise or my knowledge, I'm gonna charge you for it. You know, and I do this for love. I do this because I grew up in the hood. You know, obviously my environment was very, you know, it was just, you know, it was really bad. It was, I want to say, like, you know, I could have been in drugs. I could have been a gangster. I could have been a lot of things, but I chose this. I chose love, and I chose to be around with people. That's why I'm very socialized. Like, I'm a social butterfly, and I can talk to people. You know, a lot of people might take me the wrong way. A lot of people might take advantage of me, you know, but at the end of the day, you just got to know that when you're in this type of industry of music, there are either people that would like to absorb all the energy that you have, drain you, talk mess about you, talk negative things about you, have all these bad things for you to not to succeed. That's what they call like they're haters, or they just envy a lot of things that you do that they wish they can do. And that's when you have to have a really strong mindset, bro, and be like, yo, cut all the noise because I'm just focused on what I really want to accomplish in my life.
Yup.
When you do that, bro, trust me, it will come. But at the same time, it comes with the team and the people that you built your network.
Yup.
For your network to be so much more than just money.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, growing up in the hood and doing all this in that environment, were you ever scared? Was there ever fear? Like, hey, I'm going to get robbed. I'm going to get,
Bro,
like...
I do have a story for you.
Let's go.
I do have a story for you. So, DJing in the hood, that's why I don't do it anymore. Knowing that people do pay me a lot of money. And if I do it, I'm not taking my stuff. I have somebody else do it. But when I was 21 years old, I did get robbed. And it was actually a pursuit that I saw a car behind me. Every turn that I was going, he was doing it too. And for some reason, I started speeding more. And then he started speeding too, to the point that I got into a red light. And he was just right behind me. And other cars came in front of me.
Oh.
So I don't know if this guy was communicating, whatever the case is, but yeah, I was, you know, they came out, they got out of the car, at gunpoint, you're like, get the fuck out of the car, you know, and then from there, obviously I couldn't do anything. I was like, yeah, bro.
Take it.
And they took everything that my uncle just gave me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And back then, I did not have insurance because I did not know. So one thing I will tell you, get everything insured.
Yeah,
because they're not going to cost you a lot more money to replace.
Yeah. And I'm sure that hurt more because there's so much sentimental value to your...
Oh, yeah. And that's because, again, that's what you started. And it hurts me more because I started with all this equipment, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, you live, actually, you experience, and you know now what to do in situations. Like for me, I learned that obviously I have to have insurance. Another thing, I got to know my surroundings. You got to make sure that when you're putting stuff in, who are the people who are watching you? You know, all these things come in conclusion, and at the same time, knowing what neighborhoods you're going into.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I wanted to share that has happened to me just because of Hoodwise. Because again, you have good people in the hood, and then you have really bad people, and that's because the reason that they're bad is because they need money, they're going to sell, they're going to rob, they're going to do all these things, right?
Yeah.
If you have that type of mindset, you know, you cannot get upset and pissed off because, again, look where you're at. You know, if you live somewhere nice, decent, or rich area, they don't do stuff like that, right?
Right.
Actually, they do, but they just do it in a whole different, like, different levels of stealing. But at the end of the day, like, you know, hood-wise, you always have to be really careful because, again, they're the ones that have the weapons. They can kill you. You know, thank God nothing happened to me. I walked away, and I'm just take it. You know, please don't hurt me, and it is what it is after that. So
yeah. I mean, there's people in the hood like they just end up, you know, they want to rob somebody and they'll hurt them first before even even taking anything from them. So yeah, you're very blessed, man.
Thank God that they straight up, and that's because I really had really expensive lighting. Like the lighting that I have, it was like one of those big bulbs that were like at least $3,000.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean? With the truss, even the truss are very heavy, like the silver ones, you know, stuff like that. Like back in the days, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I had 4 of those plus the truss. You know, I had my turntables. Back then they had like the Surin Vegas. I had the 18 subwoofers. They called that like the earthquakes. Like, bro, I literally went out, go somewhere, you'll have a little mini concert at your house.
Let's go, bro. Heck yeah.
So,
all right, bro. So I know you're in radio. Can you tell me a little bit on what was the journey to get there? Because you know you talked about your journey of starting the DJ world, the events that you've been to, the knowledge that you gained. What was it like? You know, what was the story of like, hey, I want to get on radio. I'm gonna get on radio.
So my whole thing about radio, because I went in and out, right? I was in radio for a little bit, and then I got out, and then I went back into radio. When I went for the first time into radio, that was in 2008 to 2009. First of all, when I started in the street team, that's where I started. I started in the street team in 2006 and 7, when it was back then called Latino 96.3.
Right.
Now that it's called La Mega. They did the whole huge promotion on all over LA County and Southern California that, you know, there was this brand new reggaeton station. So
yeah.
I'm a huge, huge fan, and I've always been presenting reggaeton when everybody hated it around that time. And all of a sudden, people love it now, and they all say that they were DJs, and they weren't. And I don't want to call out names, but I was the one that I will always push out reggaeton, everything from all types, from Panama, Puerto Rico, Cuba, donde sea, que si estaban tomando bien. I hope your listeners speak Spanish, but everything that was reggaeton, I will actually push that out, whatever I hear. So around that time, it was me and my cousin. My cousin just won some tickets to go see at a concert, and we were waiting in the lobby. And when we were in that lobby, bro, we saw a bunch of people, and we're like, "Oh shit!" Everybody won a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, because we went there's like, "Hey, you want some tickets?" And they're like, "No." They're like, "Oh, did you win some tickets?" No. They're like, "So what are you guys here for?" They're like, "Oh, we're here for they're trying to hire for a street team." And me and my cousin were like, "Street team? Like, what the hell is that?"
Yeah.
You know, what the hell is a street team? And then, you know, one of the people from there explained it to us. Was like, street team is like any promotions from the radio station or other brands that want to promote and want to bring the radio station to whatever, you know, if it's, let's just say Verizon, Metro, T-Mobile, a restaurant, whatever the case is, that they want the radio station to be at their facility to promote and give promo and give prizes and tickets and all that good stuff. And me and my cousin were like, "Oh shit, bro, we will be good at this." You know, and it got to the point that, you know, we made friends with all of them, knowing that we just went in there to get tickets.
Yeah.
And we became so damn good that I feel like me and my cousin were the entertainers. So
you started entertaining.
Yeah. And just for you guys to know, my cousin is called Teddy Mora. So he's actually the one that was at Power 106 with Nick Cannon and Melissa Rios, and actually was at the what is it called, with Nick Cannon's program.
Oh, Wild and Out. Yeah.
So me and him, we started this since we were young, and he was the one that was pushing me. He's like, "Hey bro, we should just jump on this." And I was like, "All right, cool." So, and that's how my career started. So being as a street team, then from there DJing in the streets to the point that it got the people's attention, and then it got the people's attention from, you know, the radio jocks out there. Is like, and they're like, "Hey man, have you ever DJed on air?" And I'm like, "No, what's up?" Obviously they taught me everything. You know, shout out to my boy J Rhythm, and obviously Santa Rosa.
Big shout out.
David Rolas. You know, all these people, Sandra Pena. Like all these people, they started me, you know, kind of coaching me. They were already in radio, but they were kind of starting their career too, but they already kind of knew more than I did.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, I picked up real quick on how things worked and all that stuff. And then from there, you know, I switched from working at that station to work for Power 106. So, and then from Power 106, I started again from the street team. And then from there, I left. I only did street team at Power. And then I just left from that era, bro. And then I didn't go back to radio station in 2018. And that's when I worked again with Power 106 and K-Day. And then once they bought out, that was back then, 93.9 Éxitos.
Yeah.
That's when the new brand came out to Cali 93.9. And then from Cali 93.9, I was there for them for 7 years until they laid off everybody.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
So, and then obviously right now, I'm still doing me. I still got other things going on in my life besides radio, but that was one thing that how radio all started, just because of networking, connecting with certain people, obviously people noticing how your style is, how your mixing is, and all that stuff. So that's very important as a DJ, that when you're starting and you're meeting certain people, is to know what is your vision, what can you bring to the table, and know that what can you utilize for your benefit and for theirs. Because at the end of the day, if you're going in there thinking that, oh yeah, the radio is going to blow me up, it's not going to work.
Next up, we got to talk about the ultimate destination for self-care, glowing skin, and premium aesthetics, the Empress LA. Before you step out to your next big event, or if you just need to hit the refresh button on your skin, you need to book an appointment over at theempressla.com. They are a premier medical spa specializing in advanced skin treatments, luxury medical facials, injectables, and medical grade wellness that gets you real radiant results. We love them because their expert medical team knows exactly how to customize everything to your exact goals. Go explore their full menu of med spa services at theempressla.com and check out their stunning, relaxing studio space. Don't wait until their calendar fills up for the weekend. Secure your consultation at theempressla.com today and tell them Real Talk with Real DJs sent you.
That was my next question. So, for DJs out there, with streaming today, with radio, I think radio is trying to find its place in today's society because it's not what it used to be. Radio was everything back then,
right?
And now it's like, I think it's trying to redefine itself. What do you say to DJs, to new DJs? Like, should they go for the radio jobs? Should they? Or should they?
I'll be honest. So radio is still there because at the end of the day, radio is there for a huge disaster. So it's a public announcement that internet cannot reach. Just like television. If something would have happened or whatever, radio is the most important thing because everybody will tune in rapidly at a radio if the signals of internet cuts off.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about analog, that it will still reach out to certain things with satellites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When it comes down to that stuff. Because again, internet, everybody can have, but once the mini satellites are here, whatever, it cuts off, bro, how can I communicate?
Yeah.
How can I call on the cell phone?
Right.
That's why they make all these movies, right? Like I feel like it's just something like if something would have happened, guess what comes back? Analog things.
Right. Yeah. I never thought
a phone on the wall that you can actually tap in and call somebody.
Yeah.
Or radio station that always tune in because you can actually hear on what's going on because that's the only way that you can, communicate.
Yeah.
TV, if that doesn't work. But radio is like the most exclusive one.
Yeah.
Because if you have an antenna and it picks up signal, whatever, that's what it is.
Sure.
So that's one thing that I tell people that, radio's still there. Obviously, they're competing with music just because, one, how radio works is how they make their money. They need commercials.
Yeah.
And I know people hate commercials. But guess what? Not only on radio now you have it on all platforms. If you tap into Spotify and Apple, if you're not subscribed into something, guess what? You're gonna hear commercials now on those things too, because everything is money now.
Yeah.
And the only way for you to not to listen to all these things, you have to be subscribed.
Right.
And you're paying monthly a fee now.
And a lot of people don't like paying that fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's why one thing about my show that I always used to sell is that, hey, around this time, 1 hour mix, no commercials, and I'm not even talking. It's just nothing but music. And that's what got me, the people tune in because that's what they like. They just wanted to hear music, right? So a benefit from there was that I get to show off now.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, I got my own show. People can tune in either if you're cleaning home, you're going to the gym, you're going to work, you're getting off of work, whatever the case is, you're stuck in traffic, you get to listen to 1 hour of DJ LuiJay.
Yeah.
And back then, bro, like when I was on air, bro, I had like 4 million people listening to me. So that was awesome, right? So, it has their perks. Like even if you go online, yeah, I feel like online is either because they have their fully attention or they have their laptop on or whatever the case is, I feel like it just depends on what area you want to get into. So,
but you would still recommend it to new DJs?
Yeah. Bro, radio, again, when you are in radio, you have to be professional on all platforms and skillful just because you're dealing with huge brands that are throwing huge money in there.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I screw up on air. Nah, bro. You do that,
you're done.
Fire.
You're done.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to be to the T, bro. Like, there's been some times that because of my I think it's clean or whatever when I download certain songs and a word comes out and I'm just like, and I've gotten in trouble for it. Like to the point that, man, I'm blessed that they didn't fire me, but they could have because a word just got out that was really, either a bad word or a racial type of word or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You can get fired for stuff like that. I've gotten written up, but I'm being really realistic that you have to be on point on everything when it comes down to TV, radio, and I'm pretty sure online, depending on how big the audience is.
Bro, I'm gonna cut this into a clip and share it with my team. We talk about this all the time, bro. Like you're not gonna you're not gonna go to a freaking concert hall. You're not gonna go on TV. You're not gonna go to a Lakers game and DJ.
Yeah, even those things that I have like I've DJ'd. Actually I'm actually DJing this Sunday to the Dodgers game. Like anything that you deal with like public relations on all aspects, you have to have to the T clean music. Even when I DJ'd in Disneyland, it had to be Disney clean. Like knowing that you hear it on the radio at Disney, it's like just throwing the beat. Like you can't even hear like nobody talking because if that track is so hot, they'd rather just have the track and not have the person talk. Because they just don't want nothing to be associated on whatever that song says.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if that's not for you, then guess what? That's the area that you're in. Because of myself, knowing that I love that, guess what? Now that I'm in the clubs or in the industry, now I have to be on point with my dirty versions. Yep. Because I kind of hate when I'm in a club and I hear a clean version and I'm like, bro, we're all 21 here. Like, where are my F-bombs? Where are all these? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to hear that. I don't want to hear a clean version at a nightclub. So...
And again, that flexibility, right?
Yeah, it just, obviously now you have to be more professional and be like, okay, this is from on my clean side and this is from on my dirty side. Like, you have to do these things. So 100%. There's a lot of work involved besides just, oh yeah, let me download this, let me download that. No, there's a whole strategy and ways on how to do things. So, and I know, again, that's a whole different conversation.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But I'm so glad you touched on it because I think a lot of people get into this DJ world and they think to themselves, I could do whatever I want to do. And no, that's just not the way it works. You're working, like you said, for big brands that are paying you money or paying somebody money. And you're like participating in that big event, and you have to be extremely careful with what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I think it's great that you touched on that. The other thing, I always ask this question for every single guest that's on here. Yeah. And you said you wanted to talk about it, so I'm very, very curious for you to share, how you got your name, your DJ name.
So, I used to work at a finance company for car loans. And I would say that the company Westlake, pretty sure a lot of people hate them.
I've heard.
It's a finance company, pretty much, giving loans for a lot of people that don't have credit, all that bad stuff. And obviously they screwed a lot of people over. And it went all over news and stuff like that. But I used to work for them. I was either a loan officer, I was a collector, and I was a skip tracer. So at this level, I was a skip tracer, and I was working with only 6 people in that department. And in that department, I became really close friends with an Asian girl. And she knew that I was a DJ because I invited her and all that stuff. And I used to go with my basic name, DJ LuiJay, as my government name. Until she was the one, she's like, you know what? You got to be more unique. Like, LuiJay is cool because you don't hear that name. But that's like your real name. Like, we need a stage name. And I was like, damn, well, then what would it be? Like, I was just thinking, and she was thinking too. And then, almost ending our shift. Like, we were talking this, like, I want to say, like, around 10 a.m.
Yeah.
When we were ending our shift around, like, 5 p.m., that's when it comes into her head. And she was like, I found your DJ name. And I'm like, what is it? She's like, how about we just put Louis and then just add the J? So we'll be like DJ LuiJay. And I was like, bro.
That freaking goes.
That goes,
Yeah.
right? And then I just added, how about we add this, just like a slogan? And they're like, what is it? It's like, you're in the mix with DJ LuiJay. Hey.
Let's go.
Oh my God. And she's just like, oh my God, yes. I'm like, yeah. So that was the whole thing. So I was like, make fun of stuff like that.
Please tell me that's still your tag.
That is actually.
That
If
is
you actually,
your tag,
if you call me,
Yeah.
you will hear it on my voicemail.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Heck yeah. Before we keep going, Randy, where are we on time, bro? Or any comments?
Yo, behind every great track, there's a solid foundation, and the same exact thing goes for your home or business. That's why we partner with Montlake Construction. If you've been thinking about remodeling your kitchen, updating your roof, or building out a brand new creative studio space, pull up montlakeconstruction.com on your phone right now. These guys deliver absolute precision, elite craftsmanship, and suitable building practices right here across LA and Orange counties. Don't cut corners on your next project. Head to montlakeconstruction.com, look through their incredible portfolio, and get a quick quote. Build it right, build it strong, and start your next project at montlakeconstruction.com.
Okay, so there is 2 comments.
This is what happens when the tag.
Hey, but let me tell you, this drinks right here called Sombrero Negro.
Or Charro Negro. Yeah.
Oh, Charro Negro.
No, it's also called Sombrero. Yeah.
Never heard of that before.
Charro Negro, Sombrero Negro. Bro, tequila with Coke. Never tried it. This is amazing.
And even though it's a Mexican drink, you're for it. You're okay with it.
Hey, shout out to my Mexicans, man. Because a lot of people know that I'm Ecuadorian. Bro, whatever's going on social media and las redes sociales, bro, I still have love for my Mexican people. I don't know what the hell's going on out there, man. You guys are, I feel like social media has gone really crazy. And I just want to say that to everybody just because my daughter, she's half Ecuadorian and half Mexican. So I have so much love and respect for my Mexican culture, for the Mexican people, and I know the Mexican people as well. Every culture in the world has those idiots and ignorant people that just love to create chaos. So just wanted to throw that out there.
I was trying to create chaos right now. I'm just kidding. What are the comments, bro?
So someone, they call themselves Face V Sit.
Oh yeah, Face Versa. That's my boy. He's an artist. Shout out to my man. He's an artist from South Central too. Much love for him. We just had a meeting because of him. We're actually about to throw the biggest event, for our Ecuadorian community and for everybody to attend. So anybody that's, tuning in, just make sure that we're about to do the biggest Ecuadorian festival in downtown LA. So stay tuned for that so I can give you some more information. So
just for the record, bro, I'm also from South Central.
Hey, there we go. South Central, baby, in the house. I love it. Love it.
Randy, that was Randy saying he's from South Central.
There you go.
Mostly from like the Florence and Pedro area.
Okay. Florence, all right. Yeah, I grew up on 52nd and Hoover, so.
Oh, okay. So more like the downtown LA?
Mid further down. Yeah.
Okay. So he put "What's up though," LuiJay, and then he just started putting a bunch of emojis.
Okay.
And then time-wise,
Face first. Thank you, brother.
time-wise, we got 18 minutes left.
Cool.
Okay, cool, for sure, yeah. Oh, we got time. Yeah.
Man, let's go.
So he just put 27th and Kenwood.
27.
Shout out to 27th and Kenwood. All right. There we go.
Do you remember the old radios on the cars, Kenwood?
Yeah, Kenwood. Bro, I used to rock that, bro.
That was the thing.
So Kenwood and Alpine was my shit.
Yeah, but I was too young to have my own car at that time.
Yeah,
but my cousins, like Kenwood system.
It was a thing. For me, it was Kenwood speakers, and the radio was Alpine. Because Alpine was like the elite, right? Like it was like the iPhone,
the face.
The whole thing. So
yeah,
and then the ones that were kind of going back and forth was Pioneer, because they were coming with some dope effects on the screen,
right,
stuff like that. So
for sure. Nah, heck yeah, man, those were the times. So I had in regards to the World Cup, man. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear what you got, man. Who do you have as the winner?
I obviously I wanted my team to at least take it to a whole new level. I know they say that FIFA and all these things has going on, but I always say it this way: if somebody really wants it, they will go for it no matter what, right?
Yeah.
With the whole Ecuadorian and Mexico, the what they're going out there and saying that our players got bribed by the mob and letting them know that they can't win because Mexico know how to win. If it's true or not, whatever the case is, I just felt like Ecuador didn't play just because of the whole situation that was going on. But just in general, just when Ecuador was just playing the first 3 games, right? The only big emotionally, and I'm pretty sure all Ecuadorians were when we beat the crap out of Germany.
Oh yeah.
And that was a really amazing game.
Big deal, yeah.
For us, but I just felt like, why that game, right? Like I'm like, what happened to the other 2 games? Like, why couldn't we be consistent? So I'm a type of person that needs to be consistent. The bigger thing for me right now, because I'm half Argentinian, so I'm Ecuadorian, half Argentinian, half Italian.
Okay.
So
is that where LuiJay?
Yeah, LuiJay. So Argentina, they've been consistent in everything. So when you see a pattern like that, obviously you want to see them succeed to point to be where they're at. So obviously I want my team Argentina to win, but it does. I'm very open to see if France wins or Spain. A lot of people, when I put on my social media, who do you think is going to win? People are actually going for Norway.
Oh,
what's your opinion on Norway? Because I think this is the first time they're in the World Cup, no?
Yeah.
Randy's asking what's the opinion on Norway? Because
Norway, yeah. Bro, I love that white guy. Holland?
Yeah, he's
that guy's a beast, man.
He's a beast.
And like we were talking earlier, right? And yourself, we give credit where it needs to be.
Yep.
And that guy has been a beast and doing what he has to do, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's 40 what I would say 40. How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
It's not the miles per hour. It's the other one.
Oh yeah, no idea. Kilometers per hour?
I don't know. It's tons of stuff for a bit. But apparently it's 40 of what he does in the field. So I don't know how.
40 kilometers per hour? Like the player, the
Holland, yeah.
Holland.
That's crazy. That's insane.
40. I don't know what it is.
So you see him, because I've seen his play. He doesn't play like other players. He plays to the point that once he sees the action coming, that's when he comes in.
Yeah.
But if you see him, just him, he's either walking, chilling, whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that.
To the point that when he sees already what's about to happen, that's when he's like, all right, I'm tuned in.
Yeah.
So I feel like he knows already, and that's really rare to find a player to understand that part that he needs to come in, right?
But I think he
With Brazil, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think he has this like this confidence about him that he knows he could do that because he's so big. And
Yeah.
I don't know if he's muscular, but I've seen like highlights of him. He just like pushes people and like you just kind of like
he's tall. He's a very tall white man.
push people out of the way.
And he has a really good strength.
Yeah.
6'5" and 208.
There you go. You know what I mean? So he's considered what they call in Norway a Viking. The whole bro thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you see his highlights and it's like, damn, like, yeah, no one's gonna mess with this guy. So
it'll be interesting. You know what I mean? Just like, I feel like right now, like how the games are going to go, like for tomorrow, see France, let's see if they move on. You know what I mean? I always tell people, like, you cannot feel comfortable, you know, knowing that if you're feeling like, oh, I'm very determined, like, again, the whole Egypt with Argentina, like, I thought Argentina was going to leave, you know what I mean? And for them to come out at the end, you know, and score 3 goals, you know, that tells you, like, bro, we still want this, you know? So
yeah, because Egypt could have kept going. They didn't have to stop.
Even the whole debate about being like rigged and all that stuff, I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, we got to give credit to the Argentina players that played in action because they were not called for, oh, tiro libre here or a penalty here. Like, everything was in play to score the goals. And all those 3 goals were amazing. Right?
Could have been stopped by defense.
And the defense, yeah. Egypt did not actually stop. So it seems like they just stopped or they were tired or whatever the case is. And then that's why they can just feel like, oh, the referee did this, the referee did that. I'm like, bro, what were your players, though, at the end of the day? Like, it seems like everybody gave up.
Which could be true. All those bribes, all those things that could be true.
Yeah.
But where were the players?
Right. So, because again, it's all about the goals.
Yep.
That's what I see it. So, but anyway, that could be another topic.
That's another podcast.
That's a podcast for sports.
For sure, man. Yeah, no, 100%. But I think you know, in the World Cup, at least for me, I really see France, you know, taking it all the way. I feel like can it be a rematch? I don't know if they're in the same. But I know last World Cup was France Argentina, right?
Here's the thing: it could go either both ways. Either one, it's a rematch back to back France.
Yeah, because that's I think that's what happened in 2018.
Yeah.
Or it could be a rematch between France and Norway because they were in the same group, and the fact that France beat them in the group stage, so it could be a back to back in the head. You know what? They beat us in the group. Screw it, we're gonna beat them in the final.
And finally, keeping a packed schedule and late nights means you gotta keep your mind and body sharp. That's why we lock in with Core X Fitness. You can sign up for your first high-intensity 55-minute circuit class today over at corex.fitness. Look, being on your feet, being behind the decks, or traveling takes serious stamina, and their team is all about unlocking that next level of strength and endurance. They even feature live in-class DJs to keep the energy all the way up while you train. Go to corex.fitness right now to check out their group training and resculpt Pilates schedules at their Downey studio. Elevate your routine, find your strength, and join the community at corex.fitness today.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Next podcast, bro, please don't forget to grab a mic. You need a mic. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So back to the DJ world, because I want to make sure to get as much knowledge from you as possible.
Of course.
How do you grab your music? What's your process for you know, organizing music? What's your process for you know, keeping it either clean, dirty, good records, bad records? What's your mindset?
So usually what I do as a DJ, and I feel like DJ should do this already, and if you don't, it's because probably you're a beginner, but if not, you should have other programs besides Serato, like Fruit Loops, Logic, Ableton, you know, certain things that you can edit songs. And if you don't know that, you know, you got to love technology now. YouTube, you can learn a lot of things there now.
Yeah.
So there is no reason for you to feel like, oh, well, I can't do them. Like, there's the schooling in YouTube. You can learn a lot of things in a lot of ways. So pretty much having that, I like to strategize depending on the event that I'm about to get into, you know, to be like, okay, if I'm going to be here for an hour, or if I'm going to be here for 2 hours, if I'm going to be the headliner, what am I going to be doing? Like, you literally have to project something that it will define the DJ when you're there at that moment. So for me, I have a bunch of record pools. You know, I have BPM Supreme. I have DJ City. I have MP3 Pool. I have Pro Latin Remix. I have Club Killers. There's some other ones that I still mess around with. Some of them are free just because of the level of where I'm at and I promote them. And then some of them I do pay. If I cannot find this song whatsoever in all platforms, then I'll utilize YouTube. But that's the last resort because YouTube does not provide me the high quality of that sound. And I do not like to sound like shit.
Yeah.
So I like to be at the most toppest sound level. And again, and that's coming because of my sound engineering. I want my sound to feel like everybody is like, when I mix a song, the volume doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's just the same rhythm of everything. So that's just me. I'm a very anal person when it comes down to that, and I'm pretty sure other DJs too. But
please analyze your music.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I would throw that in there.
Yeah. So make sure that, you know, everything's on point when it comes down to that. DJs, please. Just because, again, other consumers, customers, clients, whatever the guests, anybody that you're satisfying, if they can't, you know, learn that, that's fine. But just know that there's other people listening, and because those people listened and you didn't have your stuff ready or on point, guess what? You probably would have lost an opportunity, knowing that that was your shot.
I just had a sound engineer tell me to please download WAV files only, because I always download. I have a bunch of pools, music pools as well, and I always download MP3s at the highest quality, of course. And he was like, you know what, man, download WAV files, which I know are a lot higher quality, but they're hard to find.
Yeah, they are. But I feel like, again, it's all about sound waves. So in this, where there's a sound engineer that comes in, if you can feel that the song that you have that is an MP3 in a wave that's here, if you can just tap it in to the point that it can just sound very smooth at the other one, you know, the only trigger that will be is probably bass wise, just because when you have a sound like at a club, that's what they look for. You know, that's the only tiny thing that you can feel like, okay. Or if the track is so much high, so much like trap, like high definition, like that's the only time that you kind of know, like, okay. But those are the tracks that, again, that when you're wherever you're at, to make sure of the whole entire set what you're going to be doing. Yeah. Because when you're freestyling, you know, yeah, you can fix them here and there, but that means that they just hired you to do certain things that you have that opportunity.
Right.
But if you're going in there as a headliner, or you're the main attraction or stuff like that, you have to be on point. I'm just letting you know right now. Even if you're an opener, like even myself, bro, the whole reason that I became as a headliner is because I knew how to open, and I gave you an open headliner set. Knowing that I was not playing all the new tracks or the shit that, you know, a headliner should be playing, but I was playing all the old school shit bangers that people forgot, and I made that as a headliner to the point that I used to this point that I felt really bad, but that's because I'm like, bro, I'm an opening set. Like, you should have your own shit. You know, that's the only thing that I used to go confront the headliner DJ, because they were like, hey, bro, you kind of ruined me. I'm like, how? You're the headliner. Yeah. I'm just the opener. As an opener, I have my people up and running, jumping to just pass the ball to the headliner and for you to dunk.
Yep.
If you miss that dunk, that's because I don't know what the hell's wrong with you.
Right.
Like, my job was to get all these people hyped, because I've been in situations that as an opener, If you're not attracting people to stay, guess what? They're leaving.
Yup.
And when the headliner comes and doesn't see a packed house, guess what? He's going to be like, yo, I ain't going to DJ.
Yep.
And they're going to walk away. Because the opener, so the opener is a huge, crucial situation. I want to throw that out there for you guys. The opener will make it or break a nightclub on everything that you touch. Because if the people are not liking what the opener's playing or anything, guess what? They're out.
I'll make this into a clip too and share it, bro. The goals. You're throwing gold out there, man. You're like, damn.
Yeah, so that's very, very, it's like, that's very crucial as a DJ to know. And it's very important to talk to either the owners, promotions, coordinators, everybody to be like, what is the theme of this place?
Yep.
So that way the DJ as an opener can figure out, okay, these are the songs that I'm going to play. Have a nice, good playlist. Make sure that you have plenty of songs. So that way you just play, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry about the headliner, because the headliner has his own show, his own theme. They're not going to care what the hell you play. So you do you, but just don't tap into the really new stuff, because obviously they want that because people go in there drunk and everything to hear these type of things, right? But that doesn't mean that you cannot shine, because there's gold still in the old stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And there goes the strategy and the creation of a DJ being as an opener. So,
but you touch on something very important, which is talk to the promoter, talk to the club owner, to be able to kind of like collaborate.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to be outside. Now this is the business aspect of me. I'm not just going in there, be like, hey, they hired me to do this. Okay, I'm gonna go. No, I want to be more involved. If they're literally hiring me, let me be more involved in this. So that way, if they did like me, guess what? I can be in rotation or be a part of their team.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking bigger besides just, hey, they just hired me to go DJ. You know what I mean? So I'm actually now being part of a team. Hey, this is pretty cool. Now, guess what? You have the advantage now that you have something in your resume. So when something else pops up, you can be like, yeah, I'm part of this team. We do this, we do that, blah, 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 blah. And then that's how you start building yourself as an entity of a brand, as a DJ, to get other bigger, players or whatever the case is that you're trying to do. So,
and you also touched on something that I feel like not a lot of people talk about, which is Ableton, FL Studio, Logic, as a DJ, like preparing tracks, cutting tracks, maybe producing tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to produce a full-on track. You could just cut it up or add a little piece to songs that are already existing. You don't have to create your own stuff just to sound different.
Right. So just to your own style. Again, like for me, I tap into a lot of producers that I give mad props, and I always push and let people know, hey man, this was not me, but because I liked how that sound, it came to my sound. So as a DJ, every DJ has their own type of sound.
Yeah.
You know what you want to deliver and what people like about your sound. So when I like to do certain things for like an intro or a hype type things that I'm like, hey man, I kind of like this hype, but not from that song. Let me cut this clip to put it on this other song that I feel is going to go good. But again, that's my taste, right? And that's what differentiates from other DJs of the style of your taste and what you can do. So for me, to this day, obviously you have all these things, but back then I had to do this shit live with CDs and records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to be really quick on getting in and out on certain things that I still utilize that, but now I do it on Serato and digital platforms that I created real quick to what I wanted it to be, to get that little hook or whatever the melody or that version of that song. And then I'm going in it and then I go back out with another song. Right. But that's pretty much how it works. So you got to be really creative to obviously just be yourself. And obviously for you to be completely different of everybody, create your own beats.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. And I really appreciate that. And, we're about to finish the podcast part of the show. So before we do, I just want to ask you, what advice would you give to your younger self? If you're here right now and you could talk to the person that you're just starting off, you said 8 years old, what would you tell that kid?
Definitely will say don't stop believing in yourself. Keep going. If you really have this dream and this vision of you becoming big, continue doing it. I will say this, just make sure that you make better decisions and choices in life. Obviously, I've seen so many DJs have so much skillfulness to the point that they stopped because they either became a father or they had a family, or, they felt like they would have had it and then they just stopped, right? And a lot of things happen when you don't have capital, when you don't have money, when you have to work, and then work becomes reality to the point that you don't want to DJ anymore because that's not a reality thing. For me, I've suffered, I sacrificed, I've done a lot of things in my life, even to this day, that I'm finally enjoying my life now. But the last 20 years of my life, it was really hardcore, bro, to the point that I lived in the streets, I lived in my car, the gym was my rent. Like, there's a lot of things in my life, man, that I share these things to people because, if you really, really want it, you have to understand that when the opportunity does come and money comes, you are appreciative, you know your value, certain things, and that's what educates you in a lot of things in life, man. And that's what I gotta say, man. It's there's just so much to say to the people, but I'm pretty sure if you have common sense and certain things, what people are coming, like things coming into your situation of life, like you can kind of know and be like, okay, I know what happened here, or I know what I can do here. Or when people give you advice, that's why I always tell people, I cannot tell you not to do anything, but I can give you an advice. Because when the situation comes, you can either grab it or you make that decision to be like, I know LuiJay told me this, but fuck it, I'm gonna go with it. And just know that the consequences of that choice is gonna come. Yeah. So it's up to you. So, but I always learned from other DJs telling me certain things, and that when they have told me in that situation come, guess what? I took it from him because obviously he's bigger and I'm gonna learn from that, right? Yeah. So, but again, every person has a way on how to create their own lifestyle, their own choices, things and risks that they have to do, whatever they want to do in life. So, and I've risked so much to a point that, I've risked so many that now I'm finally I'm getting the wings down. So.
Yeah. No, heck yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And for everyone out there listening, first and foremost, thank you for tuning in. And I hope that you get these freaking gems. These are gems of wisdom, from the pros. These are the pros. I really appreciate everything you do, man, and sharing your wisdom for the people, and I hope they grab what you have to say and run with it, So I know we're about to get into an hour of non-stop music. What are you gonna play for us?
I think I'm gonna play a little bit of everything. Let's go. From old school to new school, and we'll see what we'll go. Today, I'm gonna literally freestyle, so we'll see what we're getting ourselves into.
Hey, let's freaking go. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here.
My man.
Yep. All right, let me get your volume on, and we'll get it started.
Cool.